At first glance, it seems that this is an ordinary bridge that is still used in everyday life. The Steuben Bridge was destroyed in a planned explosion on February 21, 2012 in Steubenville, Ohio. The Ohio Department of Transportation closed the 83-year-old Fort Steuben concrete suspension bridge in 2009 due to its narrow, obsolete lanes and severe pavement deterioration. The 1,585-foot-high Fort Steuben Bridge had been connecting Ohio and West Virginia for 84 years, but in February 2012 it was destroyed in a controlled explosion in just seconds. After months of planning, within a week, demolition specialists planted 153 pounds of explosives in 490 shaped charges at 136 points along the bridge. On the day of the demolition, experts activated explosives and literally wiped the bridge off the face of the earth. In 2020, in the capital of the United Arab Emirates, 4 towers of Mina Plaza, about 140 meters high, were simultaneously demolished. The large-scale explosion made it into the Guinness Book of Records as the largest safe-controlled explosion. 4 towers of a complex, Mina Plaza, have been demolished on November 27 in the morning of 2020. It is noted that it was decided to demolish buildings in connection with the ongoing reconstruction of the Zayed port, which serves as the main port of the United Arab Emirates capital for more than 40 years. The authorities said that when carrying out the explosion, they adhered to all security measures in accordance with international standards. All nearby shops and restaurants were closed. The streets were cordoned off. The entire demolition process took place within 10 seconds. There was a pop, a low rumble, and, in just a few seconds, Savannah Riverside's K-reactor cooling tower was reduced to 52 million pounds of concrete rubble. Reporters were not allowed to observe the demolition, but video and still images were made available. The removal of the $90 million tower completed in 1992 was part of the site's $1.6 billion American Recovery and Reinvestment Act program, most of which was earmarked for cleanup and environmental management projects. As the second-largest cooling tower to be demolished worldwide, the 345-foot-wide tower posed a unique challenge to American D&D and Controlled Demolition Incorporated, the contractors hired to complete the task. Engineers who spent months surveying the tower placed 3,860 separate charges, fueled by 1,300 pounds of nitroglycerin-based explosive, along the lower 250 feet of the structure. In front of the people of the two countries, a 93-year-old power plant in Michigan that had not been in operation since 2001 was destroyed along the U.S.-Canadian border. The Marysville power plant, known as Mighty Marysville, collapsed dramatically in 2015 during a long-planned implosion in Marysville, 55 miles northeast of Detroit. It was known for its towering smokestacks. The site is along the St. Clair River, which separates Michigan and Ontario, Canada. Marysville opened in 1922. DTE Energy closed the coal-burning plant in 2001 after employing as many as 250 people there. There are plans to turn the property into a variety of uses, including retail, housing, a marina and bike trails. Thousands of people watched the demolition. In 2010, more than 20,000 people gathered to watch the Texas Stadium explosion in the Dallas suburbs. This stadium opened in 1971 and served as the home arena of the Dallas Cowboys soccer team until 2009. After the Cowboys team moved to Arlington, a highway interchange was built on the site of the old stadium. Texas Stadium, which seated more than 65,500 spectators, was known, among other things, for a large hole in the roof, which, according to fans, allowed God to watch the game of his favorite team. Hundreds of people wishing to say goodbye to this stadium began to gather around the stadium the day before the demolition. There was a massive fireworks display, and then the next day, the 11-year-old winner of the special competition set off a ton of dynamite that detonated the building. The spectacle was mesmerizing. At 235 meters high, The Oroville Dam in California is the tallest dam in the United States and also one of the highest in the world. To pass water through the dam and prevent it from overflowing, Oroville used a spillway 91 meters long and 54 meters wide. In February 2017, water was flowing at 1,450 cubic meters per second when operators noticed that a huge piece of the dam had literally broken off. Look how small the workers inside the crater seem. Due to significant damage, the water changed its trajectory. The problem became so serious that the operators decided to use the emergency release for the first time since its construction in 1968. But erosion appeared again, and this led to the fact that the flow of water came out of the reservoir. The threat was so serious that the authorities began to literally blow up nearby areas so that the water could escape. But when this did not help, a large-scale evacuation began and about 200,000 people left their homes. It was a real disaster. Large forces were put on alert in the United States, a total of about 20,000 military personnel. 125 teams of builders and 4 heavy vehicles were sent directly to the work area. Aviation was involved, including helicopters of the National Guard, with the help of which they began to drop bags of sand and rock onto the sites of the erosion of the drain. Sandbag barriers are also being built around the dam. Every hour, about 1.2 thousand tons of rock fragments are placed in the gullies. The restoration of the dam itself cost more than $1 billion, and the losses amounted to several billion dollars. Hundreds of people traveled to the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution to watch the iconic cooling towers at Ironbridge Power Station get demolished. The power station helped to provide the UK with energy for 46 years and became an imposing feature at the heart of Ironbridge Gorge. Crowds of people turned up in Shropshire to watch the towers come down while millions of internet users watched the demolition, which was live-streamed online. Ironbridge finally closed in 2015, and the 350-acre site was bought by developers Harworth Group plc to build 1,000 new homes. The demolition of the towers, numbered 1 to 4, has cost £10 million and taken 5 months to prepare. China's 387-foot-tall Genoa Building was demolished in just 15 seconds in the Chinese city of Xi'an, after it was loaded with 1.4 tons of dynamites and 12,000 detonators. This 26-story building is the tallest building to have been blown up in China. The Genoa Building was located in Xi'an High-Tech Zone, Shaanxi Province, and was originally built by the Genoa Pharmaceutical Factory as offices. Construction of the building began in 1996 and was completed in 1999. However, only the facade was built and its interiors were never furnished. Since then, the building has remained empty and untouched. The demolition of the skyscraper took place at 7 p.m. on November 15 and took only 10 seconds, but preparations for the explosion took several weeks. On the same side, the construction of a huge new commercial complex began almost immediately. Write in the comments if you would like to see live such an epic spectacle as the blowing up of a huge building or bridge. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Caro Show channel. Also watch our previous interesting videos. See you later.